There is a lot of useless advice out there that just doesn't work. However, this does. Get ahead of your opposition. It really does work, so give it a try by checking out the link in the description below.
The question, should I address my cover letter to the HR manager or the HR director? Answer by Keith Wolf. Address the letter directly to the hiring manager. The ideal scenario is that you know the person's name who is hiring for the role. If you don't, try using LinkedIn to find it. Many roles list the hiring manager directly in the job posting. You may also check the company website, ask someone in the company who can fill you in, or even try calling the company and asking who the hiring manager is for the role. Just don't provide your name. For more resume/cover letter tips, check out our blog, Career Blog with Resume, Cover Letter, LinkedIn, Career Coaching Tips. Good luck, Keith. Answer by Diane Mendez. Deciding not to follow those instructions and to instead reach out to the hiring manager directly will mostly, not always, but mostly, annoy those hiring managers, who will wonder why you think those instructions apply to everyone but you. Try this free cover letter video for the serious job seeker. In the other cases, follow the directions. Write an unusually awesome cover letter, and that's going to help you way more than randomly trying to circumvent directions. I would say to use your connections wisely and not use the terms connections loosely. I won't recommend you if I don't know you or know someone that does. I had people approach me and ask them to refer them to a job because we went to the same school and I have no idea who they are. So, word of advice, ask before sending a resume to a connection, or at least let them know that you're looking, or drop the idea of asking them if they look very uncomfortable. Excellent example also because if someone you didn't know approached you and offered a significant amount over the asking price, that would be worth them bypassing the relator. If this is one of those ubiquitous advices that I always see around, but never understood who came up with it, or why it's lasted so long. About as useful as the always call and follow up on your resume that you've submitted advice. Once hired, an employee will need to rely on HR at some point. If you're starting that relationship off with a "you offer no value in this process" attitude or perspective, I don't see how that is ever helpful. I don't have a whole lot of experience with this, but that's how it works at my organization. Hiring is a subset of HR. The people who do that have nothing to do with anything else HR handles. I can't think of any reason I would need to contact the recruiter that hired me ever again. Until you want to go for an internal posting, chances are high that the recruiter will be handling those as well. In sum, be nice to recruiters. We do, but we also do our own initial screening for most jobs because we know so much more what we need from a candidate than our recruiters do. We will give them 10 or so resumes to start with and then give them more as needed. Answer by Adam J. Lazarus. Many job postings these days list the person responsible for hiring for that particular position. So if that name or title is listed, address your cover letter to that name or title. If you can find out if the company you are applying to has both an HR manager and an HR director, then it depends on which position you are applying for as to who you will address it to. If you're applying for a very senior position, then you can address it to the HR director. But if you are applying for a regular managerial, supervisory, or any other position, then you can address it to the HR manager. This is because the HR director would not usually be the person to first review incoming CVs or resumes. A safe bet in most situations could be to just address your cover letter to either the hiring manager or the HR department. But if you can find out specifically who is the manager that will be hiring for the position, through LinkedIn, for example, or another site, then it's best to address that person by name. It will show you made the effort to search properly.